So I'm going to discuss probably the shortest marriage that I've encountered so far. 21 days. 21 days, right? I mean, you don't even get to see a person fully in 21 days, in my opinion. So let's see what Judge Toler has to say about this couple that has been brought to divorce court right after 21 days of marriage.
Today I have Terry and Robert Carr here. It's a situation in which they've come here because they are at a crossroads and they need assistance. The reason they're not here to get a divorce is because they've only been married 4.5 months. And before that 4.5 months, they were dating for 21 days. And as one might predict, are now here. I have given compatibility tests to you. I usually use it in before your vows, but since you don't know each other well and you didn't know each other well, I thought that may assist us in determining what's going wrong and we can turn this ship around. I'm going to start with you, Mrs. Carr. You say the 21 days was great, but after you married him, he changed. Tell me how he changed.
Well, in the 21 days, Your Honor, I knew Robert when I was younger. I had a crush on him, and he used to work at the corner store from my house. He cultivated me in the 21 days. He made me feel... He
cultivated you?
Yes, he made me feel
like... That's a deep word.
He made me feel like I was the only person in the world that mattered. He made me feel like he loved only me, and whatever issues that I had, he could love me through them all. It didn't matter what they were.
Okay, I'm with you right there. I'm gonna give Mr. Carr an opportunity to add his take on what happened. How come you were so sure within 21 days?
When I talked to Terry, she just seemed to be like feeling me. It just felt right, and I went with it, and I just believed. I prayed about it. And I believe that this is the gift from God for me. And I asked her to be my wife. And I still believe that, despite everything we're going through.
Just 21 days of marriage, right? And they expect it to be healthy. They expect it to be okay. I mean, imagine how this went. They were like, hey, I'm X, hey, I'm Y, hey, let's make a baby together. I mean, that's basically it. Oh, let's get married. Let's make a baby together, and then anything like that. I mean, it's obviously wrong because you don't get to see a person entirely. You don't get to see their flaws. You don't get to see how they react. You don't get to see if, I don't know, maybe they have anger problems. Maybe they have different issues that you need to tackle on together before actually getting married and making a family. I'm not saying that you should assume the worst about people at all times, because that's not healthy either. But you should be careful a little bit about your needs and what you want before you actually go into a marriage, which is basically trying to satisfy both of your needs as well as your partner needs. And hell, in 3 weeks, I personally don't even remember a full person's name. How can they remember each other and what they want from each other? I don't know. Let's see what Judge Lynn has to say.
Can I say this? And this has absolutely nothing to do with your religious beliefs, because I don't like nobody messing with my religion, so I ain't gonna mess with yours.
All right.
But I will say this on a purely biological tip.
Okay.
In them first couple of weeks, you're not talking to one another. What you're doing is your pheromones are talking to her pheromones. There are these chemicals they speak. Oh, go get it, go get it, go get it. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Oh, go get, gee. That's what that is. It's all chemical. And then the next thing that happens is your hormones, like oxytocin, starts talking to you, and it says, to the woman it says, he could be it. He could be mine. He could make my home. He will make me safe. Let me reel him in. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. And then Mr. Carr, what your vasopressin starts speaking to you and says, sex. And then it takes another beat and it says, good sex. Then it stops for another minute and says, constant access to good sex. And then you gotta beam in on her. And that has nothing to do with your value or who you are or your religion. It's how the biology works. So you have to let all those chemicals start talking before you can even have a real conversation. I'm just gonna say that, let it lay where it is. How did he start to change and when?
He moved from Saginaw a month after we got married because he does construction, so he didn't come home with me immediately after we got married. He stayed back like almost a month. When he got there, you know, everything was fine. But then I became fat all of a sudden. And I would like to think, you think I'm fat?
I don't think you're fat.
Okay.
I think you're healthy.
Yes.
I think you're healthy.
And I like to think a lot of other people would think I'm a little healthy too, and that's okay to be healthy.
When did he start calling you fat?
Shortly after he got there, maybe like a week or two, he saw a picture of me that's posted in my mirror, and he was like, can you go back to looking like this? And then, you know, he walked up to me and stopped me from my feet and was like, you look good from here. I like you from here to here. But then when you get right here, and then I like you from here to here, but when you get right here, That's what he said to me. He's real bold.
Mr. Carr, did that happen?
Have you heard of respect, you men? Because I mean, really, you need to also learn to respect your partners, and that means also not to fat shame them. It's okay to be worried about them, but I mean, if you are worried, then be worried. Don't make snarky comments about, oh, you got a little bit of fat over here, oh, you got a little bit fat over there, and so on and so forth. Now, women really shouldn't do that other game also. Oh, I'm so fat and so on, in order to get attention. And even though we don't like to admit it, we also have to like try to see what our love language compatibility is and what we like about each other, what gets us going. And that happens in the first early stages of a relationship. It doesn't happen just like in three weeks. You get to know each other, you get to know your boundaries, you get to know your expectations, you get to know how you react in these certain situations, and you also get married, and you also have sex, and you also do anything like that. I mean, it's crazy that they did this, but let's move on.
I didn't, Judge, I didn't mean it like she taking it. I didn't figure she would take it. I was like, babe, from here to here, that's the truth. Right here,
But what he
from
don't
here to here, you know,
But
you know, like,
Hey,
but
wait,
I'm not thinking in myself that I'm crushing my baby. I don't want to do that to her. But then I'm like, okay, well, now
But what if she went up to you, you didn't have any clothes on, and she said from here to here, right in there.
And then,
That would crush you,
no, it
wouldn't
would
it?
not crush me. What I would do, I have to Google something, I have to find some exercises, then I'll come back. What you looking like now?
Well, I heard exercise don't help that, but okay. Women are different than men. Did you know that? And that we have real issues with our body and who we are, and the man that we're in love with very much helps define how happy and how beautiful we feel. And when you critique her, carve her up and critique her like she's a car or something, it makes you feel not only like a possession, but not like a valued possession. You hear me, Mr. Carr?
Yes.
That's just the truth.
Well, we see counseling with my pastor, and he told my pastor, well, you know, pastor, she like a Chevy, but you know she needs some rims added to it, and she need to be shined up. Yeah, real like that. So I'm standing there like, really? I'm like a Chevy and I need rims? No, I'm a woman of God. And I don't appreciate
But you lost 25 pounds for him, correct?
I did, but that was from stress because, you know, I felt like, I can't believe he said that to me.
Guys, more people need to realize this. If you want to make a relationship work, you got to learn how to show respect to one another. And respect comes in a variety of forms. You have to respect each other's boundaries. You have to respect each other's goals. You have to respect uh, each other's bodies. You have to respect each other's professions. You have to respect each other generally. And I mean, the man was honest. You can't blame someone for being honest about things, but there is such a thing as too honest. He could have told her in a more respectful manner, like, "Babe, listen here. I still love you, and I will always love you. But I believe that you've gained a little bit of weight, and I'm worried about you. I'm worried about your health." But clearly, he wasn't worried about her health. I mean, clearly, he just wanted the physique she had when she met him, right? And I mean, that's not gonna boost her confidence, guys. It's not going to show the real nature of a man, of a strong male man, right? It's obviously going to you're obviously going to show just how little you are. I mean, how insecure you are about who you are and how much you can handle emotionally and so much more. And I could talk I could talk a lot about this topic because obviously I'm not the slimmest person ever, and I mean, obviously there's a stigma out there about fat people and so on, but I believe that you can get across to someone who is, let's say, more on the fat side, uh, only when you try to help them with good intentions, and not with snarky comments, not with taking them down, not with making them feel like less than they are, and so on and so forth. So do not be like this man.
Once you married her, start to pick her apart piece by piece and tell her what you liked about her and what you didn't like about her?
Yes, but I was like that when I first met her. I mean, if you like something, you like it. If you don't, then you don't. Okay, babe, she's beautiful. I love you. You know, okay, you might Tybo, okay, a little Tybo.
You do some.
I'm doing some.
Now, hang on, Mr. Carr. Do you see, however, that when you criticize somebody like that about what they look like and what they do, and you're too strong and I don't like your attitude, that is, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, come have sex with me tonight.
Yep, that's exactly
That's how it feels when you're an ongoing critic. If you over there throwing darts from the cheap seats at everything she does, she feels like less than.
But Judge, it's not all the time that way. I tell her how beautiful she is. I tell her I love the way she cook. I tell her so many wonderful things. I hug on her, I kiss on her, I rub her feet, take her a bath.
Is he giving you that kind of love?
He did that in the beginning. Yes,
I do
he
it all
did.
the time.
In the beginning, yes, he did. He would bathe me. I was so didn't want him to, but yes, he did. He bathed me. You know, he loved on me like he said he did, and then it stopped. And then just the past week and a half or 2 weeks that we've been going to counseling with my pastor, he began to try to start showing me back love. He don't do the bathing thing. I don't even want you to touch me in the bathing area no more because I know that you don't like my fat. So now when he touched me and he rubs my stomach, you know, I feel nasty because I'm like, you know you don't like it because it's fat, so why would you touch it?
You said also in your papers that you don't feel like the man of the house. Is it simply her attitude?
Yes, a lot. It's a lot of her attitude. You know, we'll be talking about something and like we'll discuss with the kids right times to date and right times about sex and having sex with another individual. And I'll give my point, and it doesn't matter
Wait a damn minute with all your points over there. You're married for like 3 weeks and you already want to introduce a new partner in the relationship. Like, what the hell is this? Really now? Firstly, I mean, it poses the questions. What do you think about this marriage? Is it healthy? Is it not healthy? Would you marry someone in just, I don't know, less than 30 days? And if so, would you agree to have like at least a threesome or anything like that after marriage? such a short time. I mean, personally, I believe that you can try to have fun or a little thing like as an experience together, as a bonding experience between partners, but this has to be agreed upon. And if you don't agree, you don't discuss it further. So, yeah, what do you think?
Points, and it's just an example. But at the end of the day, it's what Terry has to say.
That's because his point is telling a 15-year-old girl it's okay to date. I said she can't date till she's 16. That's what I said. That's what I meant. You don't come up in here and change the rules that I've set for them, because now that's giving her leeway to think like, oh, well, my stepdaddy said or daddy said I could date right now. Mama said 16. So if you think that that's going to get you brownie points with them, think again, because at the end of the day, I'm all they know. And what I say, go.
You can't come in and countermand her with all that 3 weeks worth of experience with those kids. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this man. He is pathetic, really. And this is coming from a male perspective also. So, I mean, how can you not discuss about kids before actually marrying someone who has kids? And also, how can you expect to impose your lifestyle on them? I mean, that's cruel on so many levels. I mean, okay, it's a process to bond with another human being, especially if those children are not young anymore, if they're not like 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and they don't really realize what is happening around them yet. Obviously, you can establish a connection much easier, because you can tell them what you think is right, what you think is wrong. Obviously, I don't condone imposing your own beliefs on anyone, not even your children. I mean, I think that children should be given opportunities, should be given choices, but they should not be obliged to do anything. And really, before marriage, you should discuss parenting styles, because what do you think? Do you think you have to discuss kids and parenting styles before or after you get married? Because I personally believe that if you are a single parent, for example, and you go on a date or anything like that, it's important to know what kind of man you bring home, or woman you bring home, because obviously if that woman or man will care more about sex rather than taking care of the kids, or will be more interested in money and in I don't know, shopping and then anything like that, than to get to pick your kids up from kindergarten or from high school or from so on, or taking care of your children's needs. I think that's a red flag. So, what do you think, guys?
Your Honor, I've taken care of my kids. Nobody has ever taken care of them for me. Nobody has done anything
Oh, I believe
for
you.
me.
I believe
Everything
you.
that I've done, I was raised by my great-grandparents. Everything I've done on my own. I got it on my own without no help. And yes, I did believe that Robert was the man for me. Yes, I do believe that if he cultivated me like that in the beginning, that means that he gave me a representation of who he really could be. So why change that representation? He say I'm hood. I came from the same streets you came from. So yes, I may be a little hood, but you know that already. You knew that before you married me.
Statement that she believes that you knew who she was when you got her, but thought you should change her once she got married. Is that inaccurate?
Be smooth, okay, honey, ladylike, and that's all I'm asking for. That's it. I like at times who she is, that attitude. It has a place. But she has to understand it don't always have a place, and sometimes it's out of place.
I hear you. Now, Ms. Carr, let me back up. Just back up. You've always had to be strong. You have always had to be on point. You have always been fighting those battles, and sometimes that super strength becomes a habit, and it's not always appropriate in every circumstance you meet.
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying you gotta be weak and feminine, because I'm not like that.
But that's how he wants me to be.
But I understand there's a difference between being all feminine and nice and just coming off the soldier every once in a while.
But I don't, Your Honor, I bring this man breakfast in bed. I treat him like he's royalty. I run his bath water. I make sure when he come home from work, everything is set out, laid out for him. I don't miss a beat. But because he may say something to me and I respond to it, it's, no, I said what I said and that's it. No, that's not how, and then he say, I don't have communication skills. That's not how you talk to me. I am your wife. And if you felt for 1 second that you was gonna come into my real grown adult life and then treat me any kind of way, think again. Because when you talk to me, you don't tell me that's enough and I don't get to respond or express how I feel behind it.
It is true that men tend sometimes to assert dominance from the start in order to, I don't know, seem like they are the leader and so on. But I believe that is just purely a misconception on what a man or what a woman should be. I believe that everyone can define what a woman should be or a man should be. I mean, obviously, not arguing the biological viewpoint over here because that's a biological and that's science and that's that. But I believe that femininity and masculinity should not be defined in within a certain patterns, right? I believe that everyone has their own experiences. I believe that everyone has their own trauma, everyone has their own feelings, and everyone has their own opinions about something. And in a marriage, in order for a marriage to work, for any relationship really, you need to listen to your partner and listen to how they think, even though it may not seem to you that it's normal, that it's I don't know, it's just how you would want them to think. Okay, you have to listen to them. You have to say, okay, I'm trying to understand your viewpoint. I don't really know if I can get past that, and see where that conversation leads to, and see where you can compromise, where you can reach an agreement. That is a healthy way to communicate about things, obviously. But I mean, people nowadays tend to just have an argument and then either leave or do anything like that, or badmouth people, badmouth their partners, and so on. And that's just rude, really. So let's see what Judge Lynn has to say next.
Mr. Carr, I do get a sense from what you wrote down in your papers here that you do feel like you're in charge and you may allow her to speak, but you don't consider what she says. Do you at all see that as how you come across?
It may seem how I come across, but I listen to every word she say. I don't wanna feel like what she says to me is not, it has no substance. It's not, I can't apply it. But I don't know, just sometimes when I talk to her, it don't seem logical to do it. And so and when we talking, babe, it's like we talking about something real, but then you go off on the bull crap. And that's when I say enough.
Because it's more to him, but not me.
Here's the problem that we have here. Women think and feel about things differently from men. And it's not wrong, and it's not BS, and it's not off the topic. It is different. And we want you to hear how we feel and why we feel that way. You want to know to go left or right, and that's it. And what you have to do to be a good husband is to be a man who can say, I don't understand why she needs to tell me this, but I'm going to sit down and listen to it. Just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. So when she says something that you don't understand, you put a period on it. We can't go there because I don't get it.
That's a great advice from Judge Lynn's perspective, and I agree with her wholeheartedly because, I mean, it's true that men think more straightforward, and women sometimes tend to go a little bit like this about things, but it doesn't mean that their thoughts are not valid. It just means that they think about multiple scenarios at the same time, and maybe they think about multiple consequences. Maybe women tend to analyze more their surroundings before taking a decision, and that's not necessarily bad. So what follows is Judge Lynn Toler's ruling, and I can't wait to see what she has to say about this poor excuse of a man. I don't know how this man got any partners at all, but here we are.
I had a lot of fun with this compatibility test. I always ask everybody what 5 things you don't like about their intended. And oftentimes I don't even get 5 because people are in love and, you know, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. This woman not only filled out all 5, she went to 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and I think the only reason she stopped is because she ran out of paper. She said you are angry and not sensitive, you are controlling, you are not affectionate, you overshare your business with everyone, he thinks he knows everything, and things have to be his way, he's jealous but he denies it, he's flirtatious to every woman, you are critical, you hit below the belt, you are messy and want me to clean up behind you all the time like he's 2. This is the screed of an unhappy woman.
That's a big scream from a woman. In my opinion, they should already break up. So, yeah, let's see what's next.
I've been working on it.
Mr. Carr, you said when I was working at the plant, I would talk to my coworkers about everything, including sex and relationship. When I told Terry about our conversation, she went ballistic. Why would you think she would do anything other than go ballistic when she finds out that you're talking about her personal sexual business with people at the plant?
I mean, I'm open. I'm like, I didn't know when we talking about issues, and I'm like, okay, you know, man, my wife the truth. I was like, you know, I thought she was a call girl.
A porn star.
I know.
He said, I believe my wife was a porn star.
Let me give it to you this way. Mr. Carr, you are self-involved and unaware. You're a very gregarious and interesting individual, but you think you're the king of something. You think that you are the man and everything should be your way. She should fix herself, do what you need to do. She shouldn't say anything that you don't want her to say, that you are the final word, that she is not to be heard. This is why you have the most unhappy woman in the world. You are not ready to be married. You don't know how to do anything for anybody other than yourself. You don't have enough sense to know not to tell people what kind of thing she does in bed. How disrespectful is that? It fills your ego to talk about what a freaky deek she's in bed or whatever that is. You think you're all that in a bag of chips, and you're not. You're very, very flawed, and you're very inconsiderate, and you're very unkind, and you're very hurtful. And I'm sure you could be better, but I don't think you ought to be better because you're a dude, and it's your house. The definition of manhood is not simply how much money you make or how many rules you make. Is can I make the people in my life feel happy, safe, and secure? And on that you have failed grossly. If I were you, I'd rock and roll. I don't think he's ready. This matter is adjourned.